The child and the alienating parent become a team to denigrate the alienated parent. In a world where pathological parents can destroy their child's loving relationship with their other parent, survivors must fight to uncover the sinister lies behind this mind-bending form of abuse. Welcome to the Anti-Alienation Project, where I discuss parental alienation from the perspective of an adult child in recovery. I'm Maddie, and today we're going to be discussing the definition of parental alienation and how to recognize some of the signs and symptoms. Parental alienation is the act of one parent turning a child against their other parent via brainwashing or manipulation, without reasonable justification. I need to get one thing straight. Parental alienation is a devastating form of child abuse. Even though it might not be physical, the lasting effects of this psychological abuse cannot be stressed enough. The Journal of Divorce and Remarriage defines parental alienation as a childhood disorder that arises almost exclusively in the context of child custody disputes or divorce. This pathological parent, and I'm using the word pathological because I really do believe that you have to be pathological in order to do this on such a severe level especially, embarks upon a campaign of destruction of the allegedly hated parent or the alienated parent. It's called a syndrome because a syndrome refers to a cluster of symptoms. And I'm going to mention some of these symptoms right now. The child expresses a relentless hatred for the targeted parent. The child's language mimics the language of their pathological parent. The child rejects or refuses to visit the alienated parent. Many of the child's beliefs are the same or enmeshed with their pathological parent. Many of the child's beliefs are delusional and irrational, and they don't fit the facts. The child's reasons for not seeing their parent or not wanting to go with their parent are often the result of things they've been told instead of the direct experience. The child is not going back and forth in their head between whether they should go with their parent or not. There is no ambivalence in the situation. The child just displays hatred for their parent. The child doesn't feel guilty about their behavior toward their alienated parent. They believe that their actions and words are justified. The child and the alienating parent become a team to denigrate the alienated parent. And last but not least, the child can appear to be a normal, healthy child, but when asked about the alienated parent, their hatred is often triggered and undeniable. Even reading these symptoms, I feel so guilty. I feel so guilty because I'm an adult child who discovered that I am also someone who has lived a false reality for 20 years because I am a survivor of parental alienation. Around age 8 and especially age 9 during my parents' divorce and the custody disputes, I was alienated from my dad by my pathological parent. And I only discovered this about a year and a half ago. So I've been attempting to recover and reunite with my dad. It's been a heartbreaking process, a confusing process, and I have to say all of these symptoms are just spot on. I feel so guilty for how I treated him and what I said and what I didn't say, what I did and what I didn't do, and I know logically it wasn't my fault because I was a child when I was made to believe these things and when I made decisions that lasted 2 decades. Alienation often occurs after a divorce. The children who are targeted are often females in late childhood or early adolescence. They found now that the alienator parent often has a personality disorder, usually narcissistic or borderline personality disorder. Many of these children end up being diagnosed with PTSD or complex PTSD from almost daily or daily psychological abuse. And in the child welfare literature, several effects of parental alienation on children have been observed. 1, an impaired ability to establish and maintain future relationships. 2, a lowering of the child's self-image. 3, a loss of respect. 4, the evolution of guilt, anxiety, and depression over their role in destroying their relationship with the previously loved parent. So far, it's like checking every box for me. Lack of impulse control, educational problems or disruptions in school. I don't think that list is conclusive, but parental alienation is on a scale as well. So you can have severe parental alienation, you can have mild parental alienation. And just for everybody watching, my case was very severe. It is clear that emotional child abuse is a statutory crime. There are a few reasons why a pathological parent might want to do this. Number 1, the pathological parent wants to hurt the child's other parent, and they know that they can use the child, if they can manipulate the child to not want a relationship with the other parent or to hate the other parent, or to also spread negative things about the other parent, then they've won, and they get this sick pleasure out of that. Number two, the pathological parent doesn't want their child to love the other parent more, or to rely on the other parent, or to believe good things about the other parent because they're jealous that they will have a stronger connection of the other parent. Along with number two, when the parent basically wants the child out of themselves. It's sick. They want their child to be completely dependent on them. And this way they can control the child because they have no other parent who is going to kind of keep them in check. I also want to mention that when a parent does employ parental alienation with their child, they are also displaying a complete disregard for their child's both short-term and long-term mental, physical, emotional, social, spiritual well-being. Furthermore, the child is almost always unaware that they're being put through systematic alienation. The child almost always believes full-heartedly that it's their decisions, their beliefs, and they don't question them. After all, why would they? Why would they think that their one loving parent would be lying to them? As someone who has a lot of experience living with this for 20 years, I want to point out how difficult parental alienation can be to prove. It can last a period of weeks, months, years, or a lifetime. This is serious stuff, and right now there is not even a screening method to screen children for potential parental alienation. If you're going through parental alienation, it's easy to lose hope. I can't even imagine the pain you're experiencing, but I do have one thing that I need you to know. If your child knew the truth, your world and your relationship with them would be completely different. If your child knew the truth, they would come to you, they would apologize profusely and feel guilt like I have for months, probably years maybe. And here's a bit of hope for you. Once your child learns the truth, they're going to come to you. They're going to tell you everything they've been made to believe, and you will probably discover that it's much worse than you ever expected. I know that as an alienated parent, you must be wondering, what are they being told? What lies have they been told about me? What are they being made to believe? It must be a mystery. If I were in that position, it would drive me insane. I want to give you some hope that your child will learn the truth, because once your child reaches an emotional maturity level that's greater than their pathological parent, they will start to question things, because all it takes is to have one crack in the fabric of the false reality for the whole thing to come crashing down. If they can go through a process of disillusion with one thing with the pathological parent, they'll start to question every other part of their lives, which includes you. Please hold out hope. Please hold out hope. I was so entrenched in this alienation and the beliefs that were completely false that I never even imagined a day where I would reunite with my dad. It was not a hope I had. It was not on my horizons. It was not a possibility. And yet it still happened. It can happen for you and your child too. And so that's part of the reason why I'm starting this channel, because I want to help alienated parents do what they can to encourage the reunification process. Now, to those adult children who may be watching this video, I want to give you hope as well. I know what you must be feeling. It is the most confusing and painful process that I've ever been through. The way I describe it is like being intimately gutted by the person who is supposed to love and protect you. There's an intense level of guilt for how we've treated our alienated parents. We have to work on realizing that we stood no chance. We were children when this happened, adolescents, even teenagers. Here's the thing I want to say to you. Yes, you are probably going through a process of grief. If you're anything like me, you believed that your good parent really was selfless and loving and the only one there for you. So to have that turned on its head, it's a betrayal like no other. I've been trying to come to terms with the fact that I have lost a parent, and you may have lost a parent too. You might decide that you need to remove that parent from your life as well. in order to be happy and be yourself and be free. You may be able to remain in contact at some level, setting certain boundaries. No two situations are the same, but in a sense, I do believe that when you learn about parental alienation and you learn about what's been done to you, you are losing a parent. Maybe not fully. In my case, almost fully. You are losing a parent, yes, but here's my bit of hope. You're gaining one too. And the parent you're losing, their love was flawed. It was not healthy love. It was not the love that you deserve. If you can open yourself up to the possibility that they might not be as bad as you've been made to believe, you might be gaining parental love that is healthier, safer, and unconditional. So that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope that this video was beneficial to you. And as always, thank you for listening to the Anti-Alienation Project. Bye.